Happy Camper Radio.
It is the Happy Camper Radio Show, episode 239. I'm Skip. I am a happy camper, and no question about it, my friends. You hang around with us long enough, we're going to make a happy camper out of you. How important is it for you to have your cell phone on you when you go camping? Is that an absolute necessity? You really need to stay in touch with the outside world. Do you need to stay in touch with work? Well, I'm kind of old school, and I've got my own attitude about that. Daniel is young school, and I tell you what, I know he's got something to say about it. And we're going to talk about that today on the Happy Camper Radio Show, cell phones and camping. Great topic of discussion. I know you're going to enjoy it. Stick around for it.
Happy Camper Radio. Happy Camper Radio.
And the Happy Camper Radio Show can be heard all around the world by great listeners just like yourself. Find us in the iTunes Store on Podbean, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, YouTube Music, Spotify, Amazon Music, Audible, and now on Odyssey, Samsung, and Player FM. But then again, if you want to see what we really do behind the scenes, check out our brand new YouTube channel. And you can see Daniel and I in action right here in the studio. You can find us on the web 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at www.happycamperradio.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Daniel, you're looking good today.
I'm trying.
Have you worn that bandana before?
No, I think this is the first time.
Oh, okay.
I think this is my happy camper bandana.
It kind of matches your outfit, but and I'm
a little bit.
I'm favorable to blue, so yeah.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't help but to
tell.
notice it.
Half the studio is blue.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, well, Daniel, on the show today, I want to talk about the importance of keeping your cell phone attached to you while you're camping. Now, today when we're talking about cell phones, we're talking about other technology. We're talking about, apps that you have on your phone which do certain things, and that's okay too. But, I'm kind of old school, and I enjoyed camping when I was much younger as a kid, and I've talked about this on the show before. As I've got 2 brothers and 2 sisters, and we always went camping with our grandparents who took us out once a year in a little travel trailer. And I remember back then, you never even thought about what went on back at home. You didn't think about work. You didn't think about anything but going out and relaxing and having a good time. And that's what it was all about. Nowadays, you go to a campground and everybody is there on their phone.
Yep.
Okay, at least the campgrounds that I've been to and seen. And so, it's a different world we're living in here today. If you wanted to be in touch with somebody back in the day when I grew up, you should have had a pocket full of change with you and be able to find a pay telephone somewhere. And they were all over the place. I haven't seen a pay telephone in years now.
I think they just removed the last one from New York City about a month ago.
Really?
That was a big deal. Yeah, there are no payphones in New York City.
What are they doing with all them anyway? Are they turning them into collector items?
I've seen them. I've been to an antique store and they had the little, enclosed little telephones. Actually, my old boss has one in his basement.
I think they call them call boxes.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
You would know better than I would. I just know that Superman changed in one of those. That's all I know.
Yeah, they have a great, and that brings back some memories also. But Daniel, when I grew up, if you wanted to call somebody, you had to have a pocket full of change. I remember, I was young enough to remember when a telephone call in a pay telephone booth would only cost you a dime. That's a local call.
Yep.
Then it went up to a quarter. But if you wanted to make a long distance phone call, you better had to have rolls of coins with you, okay? Because I remember making a long-distance call on quite a few occasions, and the operator would come on the phone and say it will be $2.35 for the first 3 minutes. And then after 3 minutes rolled on, she'd come back on the phone and say you need to drop an additional 75 cents in if you want to talk anymore.
Yeah.
Wow, what an inconvenience that was. But
you used to have special plans at home. I remember the AT&T commercials that were like AT&T Worldwide, and you get so much time and after dark time, and that kind of progressed into the cell phone age, where cell phones when they first started, you'd pay like $25 a month, but after 9 o'clock, all your minutes were free, so you'd have like 500 minutes or 200 minutes or whatever. But after 9 o'clock, you could talk to everyone and anyone in the world, and it's just crazy how much has changed.
I to this day I don't really take very many phone calls from
Yeah.
anybody
Yep.
on my phone. The last camping trip, perfect example. I was gone for 4 days, and not once did the cell phone ring from somebody back home who had my number.
Mm-hmm.
Now, these spam calls, they're coming in left and right, and thank heavens they put a notification on your
Yep.
phone. This is a potential spam call. Let it ring, okay? I've never had anybody that had a spam call label leave me a message.
Yeah.
So
Sometimes. Sometimes they have me. They want to buy my house, Skip. I don't know what to say.
I've had many offers on my house. No, not for sale. Oh, wow. I don't know what's up with that, too. But no, that's something else I can do. I do without. But yes, I remember, Daniel, when I was growing up, there were no such things as pagers. There were no cell phones. There were no tablets. There were no personal computers. None of that stuff. So, wow, the world has changed quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But, there are some folks who just, they can't put that phone down for any reason whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, and Daniel, and this one here is a real thorn in my side. I know there are people, and I have friends out there who work jobs that require them to keep their phone on their hip while they are on vacation.
Wow.
Daniel, I couldn't work for a company like that. No way on earth. I mean, if I went down and I sat down for an interview with a company and they said, oh, yeah, you will be required to stay in touch with the company while you're on vacation. See ya. I'm out of here. No.
That's
No,
not good.
everybody, Daniel, needs some time to relax, to rewind, to spend quality time with family.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm speaking here from experience, Daniel. And for you young folks out there who may just be getting started, I want to put this out here, and please pay very careful attention. You are married to your spouse. You are not married to your job.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get married to your job because it can have some very devastating effects.
Yep.
Okay. There's nothing wrong with loving what you do. And if you are in a position where you have a good job and you love your work, hey, amen to that.
Mm-hmm.
But I know some people, too, that have jobs that they just cannot stand.
Yep.
They cannot stand their bosses. They cannot stand the hours. They can't stand the working conditions.
All right, enough
Okay.
about me, Skip.
Now, I enjoyed my job, Daniel, when I was in law enforcement. And I remember a couple times when I went camping. Now, because of the rank I had, I was considered middle management. And, when you're in that type of position, sometimes, decisions have to be made. And, yeah, they could make the decisions without you being there. But, there were times that I had taken phone calls while I was camping.
Ew.
I didn't like it. All right. I made the call, made sure that the call lasted very, very briefly. Okay. And I moved right on. But I do not understand for the life of me why decisions can't be made without you. Why somebody else can't fill your shoes while you're away on vacation, spending quality time with your family.
Yeah, I could understand if you owned your own business and something, and something really bad happened. I think there's some kind of people, but if you're just a regular employee, I don't. I would try to steer clear of that as much as possible.
Well, I can't put myself into the shoes of a business owner.
Yeah,
and I imagine, when you've got a business and it's your livelihood and it's, everything that you worked so hard to build and depend on, and now you're leaving it into the hands of somebody else. I would hope that it's somebody that you would trust
Yep.
that can do the job for you just as though you were there. Okay. But, to have that phone on you and to be constantly bothered while you're away on vacation, even it may not even be a family member or not, should I say, an employer. It may be family members that is calling you. But, you do need that time to get away. You've got to be able to, recharge those batteries. It's so very important. To me, it's not a big bother now that I'm retired, okay, because, I can free up my time just about any time I want to. And in fact, I've got 4 more camping trips on the horizon here that I'm planning on.
I have one.
Yeah, tell us about it. Where are you going to be going?
So we're going down to Cumberland Island. Your son-in-law has set up a thing at Cumberland Island, and we're going to go join him down there, and we're going to go hike in and do some backpack hiking and camping down there, and it's supposed to be a really good time. And I haven't been there since I was about I don't know, maybe 7, 8 years old. So that's going to be really exciting.
Now, I've heard of Cumberland Island, and I've seen it on the map,
Mm-hmm.
and it does look isolated, so I'm just wondering if there was cell phone coverage down there.
I don't know. We'll see.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to call and bother you.
Okay, I
right,
appreciate
but
that.
when you get back, I want all the details,
Oh, you'll get
everything
details.
you can tell me about. Okay. But, these cell phones that are coming out with today, iPhones, which I've always had an iPhone since, the iPhone graduated from the flip phone.
Yep.
Okay, and I remember carrying the flip phone back in the day. It was like you're carrying a big brick with you.
Yep.
Okay, and you had to have a special holster to put that in. Okay, but nowadays, you've got these cell phones with all these neat little apps, and it was just last week on the show that I showed you my new Surge Protect that I have.
Oh, yeah,
and
the big dog.
There's an app for that.
Yep.
Okay, and I showed you how that worked. Well, this week I went out and bought another device.
Mm-hmm.
I bought a Level Mate Pro Plus, which now I can electronically level my RV when I'm out there camping. So much easier than using the bubble level.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. But there happens to be an app for that.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to have either an Android or an iPhone in order to, work that properly.
Yep.
So, yeah, I can go along with the iPhone and the apps for that matter.
Right.
But I don't need the phone calls.
No.
I don't need any unnecessary phone calls when I'm camping.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I do know some people that have jobs that require them to stay in touch with the office, and I've had lengthy conversations with them about it. And, they're like, well, it's a job. It's a good job. I want to keep it, and this is what I'm required to do. So, I keep the phone on.
Mm-hmm.
And, they say they really haven't been bothered all that much, but there were a couple times when a phone call would come in and a decision would have to be made. And if we're either in a position to make that decision, and maybe they were in a position where they, offered their input to get something done at the spur of the moment.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I think more of the problem is not the phone calls, because I hardly ever get phone calls. I think the problem is social media. They feel like they've got to post a picture of the meal they had, the camp spot. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, when my parents and us went to a campground, we'd always take a picture of the pop-up. We'd always take a picture of the entrance sign. Maybe we'd take maybe 4 or 5 other pictures, and maybe some pictures of wherever we went, or if we went to like a water park or the ocean or something. But like that would pretty much be it. And we'd have about 25 pictures on our camera. And but I feel like now everyone has to let the world know where they're at, what they're eating. The whole Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. It just feels like it's kind of addicting, and like, I don't know, it's depressing at the same time, because you'll have these people like people who love camping like us, and like, I mean, it doesn't bother me too much, but like you post stuff on Facebook and I'm like, oh man, Skip's out there, and I'm just like, I'm in my mail truck delivering mail, I'm like, man, I bet Skip's out there looking over the lake, Sadie's by his side, drinking coffee in the morning, it's all quiet. And that's not bad, because it doesn't bother me that much, but it does get to you after a while. You're like, and you don't even realize it, and you can get really depressed. And I think that's what's wrong with a lot of people that are always on their phone.
Well, 25, 30 years ago, Daniel, you wouldn't have been in that position, because I would have been coming back and taking my roll of film to the drugstore to get developed.
That's what we did.
And then you would see my pictures. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
But that's another thing, it's such a big convenience these days, that people can post pictures. And, and at the same time, I want to bring this up because, you brought up a very interesting point about posting photographs of your camping trip while you are away.
Oh, yeah.
All right. That can be very dangerous. If, you don't need the whole world to know that you're away on vacation and nobody is occupying your home. All right. I'm not saying that this is happening in all cases.
Yeah.
But, I try to make it a point that if I'm going to post something while I'm away, all right, I'm going to post it to close family and friends. I don't want to put it out there on social media. I don't want the whole world to know that I may be 100, 200 miles away from home and nobody is at the house. Okay, that's something, you don't want. But, just be very careful. You may not think it's a big issue, but, if your children know you're going away on vacation, they're probably more excited than you are. Right? And they're telling their friends, and their friends are telling their friends. And next thing you know, everybody in your whole community knows that you're going to be away from point A to point B. So, it's you may not think about that at the time, but it's something to consider. I'd like to brag about my vacation and my trip after I get home.
Yep.
Because, then you have everything up in your memory banks. You know what you did. You always have something to talk about. Okay? But, yeah, there are some folks out there, they're just posting away.
And looking at other people's posts and, like, not being in the moment. I feel like that's a big thing, not being in the moment. And it's not just social media. I mean, I'm kind of guilty of this. I'll play some games I play a lot of games on my phone, and I don't know. I try to put it away a lot of times. I've tried to just, like, leave it in the camper or something, and we'll just go out. And, it forces me to, experience the world instead of, looking at my phone all the time.
Well, I play a big game every time I go camping, Daniel, and it's how long can I sit outside before the rain starts?
There you go.
Yeah.
You've been pretty good lately, haven't you?
No.
You're losing
man,
again?
Daniel, this last trip I was on, we talked about that.
Yeah.
It rained the whole time I was there, but, at least I don't have a tent hanging over my head now to worry about.
Yeah.
But, the RV has just been lovely, and I've got about 4 trips lined up here, spreading them out.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to take me into November. Which,
yeah.
So
It's
I've
probably
got,
pretty peaceful, sleeping in that thing when the rain comes down. That sounds amazing. That sounds like the best sleep I would ever have in my life, to just hear the outside and the ambiance, and I would sleep forever.
well, I've got this app on my iPad that I have right by my bed, Daniel, and it's the Babbling Brook.
Yeah.
I had it on last night, and I slept like a bear.
Yeah.
But I really haven't experienced the rain coming down on top of the RV because I've got the air conditioner running, and that
that's true.
drowns a lot of that out. And, of course, the rain that I've experienced, as I mentioned, it was an annoying type of rain. It wasn't, something devastating like I experienced at FDR State Park. So, it's out there, and it's not going to be the last rainstorm I've experienced.
Oh, no.
But we'll see how this is going to work out here in the next couple of weeks when I go away. But, back to the phone issue, Daniel, I definitely keep my phone with me. I don't count on phone calls. And if I see something on my phone, if it's from somebody that I do know and I don't want to talk to, I don't have to answer it.
Yep.
In fact, I try to keep the phone turned on vibrate.
Yeah.
Because I don't want the thing ringing and off the hook. But, these spam calls, heavens.
I know.
I probably get about 7 or 8 of them a day.
Ugh.
Yeah. And I'm surprised, since the start of the show, and I haven't had one on the phone right now. I've got it sitting here, and of course,
Well,
I've
it's
got
Sunday, so
I've got it on vibrate.
Yeah.
That never stopped the spam calls, never.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I'm looking for upcoming camping trips here, and who knows what I'm going to buy next for it that may require an app on my phone.
Oh yeah.
But I've these electronics, they are convenient. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have these things with you, okay? But, one of the things I want to point out, Daniel, and it's the whole purpose of this show today, is when you go away with your family, when you go on vacation, this is your quality time. Spend as much quality time as you can with your family, and don't be annoyed, okay, with what's going on the outside. The job's going to be there. It's going to be there when you get back. All right. I would hate to be in a position where I had to take a phone call from work.
Yeah.
I've done that before. I didn't like it. It was a brief call, but I know I can imagine just how families feel. You're the head of the household, and you're supposed to be spending time with them. And next thing you know, you're getting away from them, and you're going off under a tree somewhere to talk to somebody, and you may be on the phone for 20 or 30 minutes. That is not relaxation, Daniel. That is no fun at all to me. And I've seen people out there in the camping world that are on their phone, and I'm just wondering, is this a business call that they're on, or are they just chatting with somebody just to have a good conversation and talk about what they're doing?
Yeah.
And thank heavens it's not me.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to the next camping trip coming up. I know you're going to be going down to Cumberland Island here.
That's exciting.
And I'll tell you what, Daniel, hopefully not very far down the road, we'll be able to get together again and, work up our next camping trip.
Yeah, the post office is hiring.
Does that mean you're retiring?
No, it means we need help. We had 6 out of 11 routes down yesterday, so yeah.
Well, if somebody out there is looking for a job, the
Yep.
Postal Service is hiring, and I'm sure they pay decent.
Oh yeah. They started about 18, 19 an hour.
Oh my heavens!
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and you'll get all the overtime you want. Trust me, you'll work a lot.
Times have changed.
Yep.
It's time now for our featured campground of the week right here on the Happy Camper Radio Show.
Happy Camper Radio. Happy Camper Radio.
Daniel, we're going to go out someplace where it is extremely hot. We're going to go out to the state of California.
Ooh.
Yeah, we're going to go out to the Sierra National Forest near Shaver Lake.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Doorbell Campground. The Doorbell Campground is a popular family camping destination above Shaver Lake. Some sites are shaded by thick stand fir and cedar, as well as pine trees, while other sites are out there in the open. In California, we know, Daniel, it can be very hot. And
Yeah.
right about now, I mean, we're still hearing about some wildfires out there.
Yeah,
aren't we?
brownouts
My
and
heavens.
all kinds of electrical problems.
Oh, wow. But, hey, if you got the problems at home, you just get in your RV and get out of town for a
There
little
you
bit.
go.
Okay. This camp is great, a great base for experiencing a whole lot of things here. The surrounded by dense pine forest, Shaver Lake is a popular destination within the High Sierra Ranger District. It sits at an elevation of 5,500 feet and is known for a variety of fish. The Sierra National Forest is located on the western slope of the central Sierra Nevada and is known for its spectacular mountain scenery. That is one thing I really enjoy. I could sit out there, Daniel, outside my RV and look way off in the distance at those mountains.
Yeah.
Okay. But, there's a whole lot of information right here on the website, and we're going to have a link to it all week long on happycamperradio.com. Check out the activities and amenities in the area, and also make sure you read the need to know before you go items. You should do that every time that you book. I don't care if you're going to a national park or you're going to a state park or wherever it may be.
Mm-hmm.
Know what's there before you go. Don't wait for any surprises before you get there. And most important, Daniel, don't move firewood. Protect your trees and everything in that area from those pesky insects by purchasing your firewood locally and burning it on site. For more information, visit don'tmovefirewood.org. We've got a link for that also on happycamperradio.com. But if you happen to be out in the state of California, and hopefully the rain will come out there instead of follow me around. Okay?
You got to go out there.
They definitely need it for sure.
They need Skip.
Yeah, consider the Doorbell Campground. It is our featured campground of the week right here on the Happy Camper Radio Show.
Skip and Daniel on happycamperradio.com.
And by all means, if you have a campground you would like for us to feature on the program, get in touch with me, Skip, S-K-I-P, at happycamperradio.com, or the bandana fella right here.
Hey, it's Daniel at happycamperradio.com.
Be sure to include a link to the campground website. Well, Daniel, it's always a pleasure to have you here in the studio.
Yes, sir.
And I think we're going to probably get one more episode in before I load the groceries into the RV and take off again.
right.
Heading back to Lake Sidney Lanier again.
Love it.
I love it, too. And hopefully I'll be having something to talk about when I get back.
I know you will.
Remember, friends, every pet deserves a loving home. I want you to do exactly as I did. Visit your local shelter and adopt a pet today. You can find us on the web 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at www.happycamperradio.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. The Happy Camper Radio Show is a presentation of Skip Huber Productions. I'm Skip. I am a happy camper. Daniel's a happy camper.
Yeah,
And we are going to definitely make a happy camper out of you. Talk to you again real soon. Thanks for joining us, everybody. This is Happy Camper Radio.